Yup. What's good, y'all? Project Man. Today we're back at giving another video. This is going to be, as I found in my recommended, Drake's mansion is both amazing and awful. Now we know Drake moving mad with the money, man. Moving mad with the money, man. That's a good alliteration. Anyway, we're gonna get into this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. Let's see what they talking about with the mansion.
Drake's mansion is so unbelievable
so
that some of its features can only be described as awful.
Wait, singing.
So unbelievable that some of its features can only
bro got the schematics pulled up, the blueprint pulled up.
Awful.
Every bathroom in his house, when you walk up to the toilet, it opens and starts playing Tupac hit him.
Made funnier by the insane legal battle Drake went through just to have it built.
The brick wall is an eyesore to my clients in the neighborhood.
He first purchased
what? Hold on, I need to listen better.
Built.
The brick
neighbors fed up.
Made funnier by the insane legal battle Drake went through just to have it built.
The brick wall is an eyesore to my clients in the neighborhood.
He first purchased the property for $6.7 million in September 2015, at which point it simply looked like this. A 1963 bungalow with a 3-car garage and swimming pool, although it was obvious that Drake was focused on a different part of the property.
He never cared about like buying a big house. He was just like, I care about buying land.
Drake bought the house for its land and location, being a 2-acre lot amongst other mansions in the Toronto neighborhood of Bridle Path. The suburb ranked as the richest area in all of Canada, with its residents having an average net worth of $22 million and an average home value of $5.1 million. YouTube videos driving through the area show some of the craziest houses you might ever witness, and as a result, it's no surprise that Drake decided to build there. On the 18th of May 2016, Drake's barely decipherable 3-story mansion plans were first released to the public, which accompanied a planning notice at the front of the residence, leading to annoying petty problems before construction had even started. Drake quickly discovered that the house he'd bought to demolish had been designed by a world-famous architect, and as a result he'd be scolded by the media for wrecking a piece of history. In one article titled "Drake, Take One Dance with That Bridle Path Home Before Tearing It Down," the writer stated, "I'm pretty angry with you for considering it a teardown," while the demolition notice had comments such as, "Maybe a minor variance in zoning, but one more sad step in Toronto's blind disinterest in heritage." Although these complaints were nothing compared to the issues caused by the new design, as the proposed mansion was so freaking huge it goes beyond what's permitted there. For example, the mansion's
another way of saying, bro, he making moves, and he making big time
height
moves
of
right
17
now,
meters was well beyond the 11 meters permitted by council, while his 34-meter wide driveway was 3.5 times larger than the allowed width of 9 meters. But the aspect that received the most—
Bro, that's freaking, on some quick math, that's like, what, almost 4 times the limit? Jesus.
backlash was the height of Drake's new fences.
Fences more than twice as high as would otherwise be allowed.
I like how they're really going into a report on a man's house, bro.
In part due to security concerns on his property.
Oh my god.
Where he sleeps, where he eats, and that has really freaked him out.
As mentioned, Drake's extra high fences were proposed for security. However, his neighbors made an effort to push back immediately.
The brick wall is an eyesore to my clients in the neighborhood, as it could be observed from almost every single room of my clients' residence in the neighborhood, as it could be observed from almost every single room of my client's residence.
Despite this,
dang, the fact that you know you live by Drake, boy, what you gonna complain about? Shoot.
Councilors sided with Drake after learning he'd spent $1 million on trees for the property, and as a result, the building was finally approved. Roughly 2 months later, Drake's builder and architect Ferris Rafali posted this image to his Instagram with the title, "Let's Get Started." This was followed by another post only 8 days later, showing that the block had been completely flattened, in the process creating a brand new problem. Drake's lovely neighbors had launched another complaint against him, claiming that trees were being cut down on the property before they'd received permission to do so. As a result, Drake
they feel like cut off their oxygen.
was now facing a fine of up to $100,000 for every tree destroyed, although his builder maintained that they'd done nothing wrong. This was confirmed after a council investigation, which stated there have been no violations.
Imagine you trying to make some room for your house and you like, yeah, we don't need all these trees, man. That's enough. They've had enough breathing daily.
There have been no large trees cut down. I'm very glad that Drake and the company he has hired is obeying the law. Roughly 1 month later, an archived satellite view of the property showed that construction was back underway, which accompanied a new post on Ferris's Instagram, hinting at just how crazy the mansion was going to be. "This is how we build an official NBA indoor basketball court, shoring and excavation in process," which was followed.
That's the most infamous thing about his house is the basketball court. So yeah, They definitely had to go to work for that, man. Ooh.
By another post 1 month later, showing the speed at which the house was being built. In the process, Drake came by to check out the property, which had begun framing only 4 months later, a stage which was fully completed within a matter of weeks, at which point the builder revealed another crazy detail. While the original plans put the mansion at 21,000 square feet, this number had since been doubled to 45,000 square feet, which included a 3,200 square foot master bedroom suite. For context, the size of an average 3-bedroom home is usually around 1,600 square feet, meaning Drake's bedroom was going to be the same size as 2 fully built middle-class homes.
Although bro, what are you gonna do with all that room? Because it's just your bedroom. It ain't no room other. Well, you know what? You could go to work in a home like that, in a room like that. But let's just say you could get a lot of work done. Creates more for happy hour.
Showed no remorse for his extravagance, stating, because I was building it in my hometown, I wanted the structure to stand firm for 100 years. I wanted it to have a monumental scale and feel. It'll be one of the things I leave behind, so it had to be timeless and strong. It's overwhelming high luxury. That message is delivered through the size of the rooms. I wanted to make sure people can see the work I put in over the years, reflected from every vantage point. As construction continued, Ferris and Drake once again posed at the front of the property, although this, in combination with countless media articles listing his address, accentuated an aspect that was already a massive problem: security.
The attempts of getting into this property is daily and nightly.
As mentioned by Drake's representative, the house was being broken into every single day and night, only made worse when the house was given a geotag as Drake's mansion on Google Maps.
Oh no, why? Especially somebody with that level of motion for the years he's had that motion. Come on now.
As a result, Drake had to hire significant security.
Dude, his security's insane. You ever seen security?
I've seen some.
Imagine more.
Right? Shoot, especially at his level, bro, you got to. That's like a necessity, bro. He said, if you had magic security, imagine more.
Not get to this guy. No chance.
With this also being seen in a video by a YouTuber named Walking Lady.
Don't go on the property again, alright?
Don't go what, sorry?
On the property.
And echoed in this comment reading, I drove past his house looking to take some pictures, but there were these 3 to 4 big dudes standing out front guarding the place. What a life.
Yeah, I mean, in one notable instance, you gotta protect that man at any cost with that level of fame and stuff like that, and people wanting to, you know what I'm saying, mess around, take pictures and shit. No, you don't want more people coming over there.
Drake's Toronto mansion was stormed by a knife-wielding woman who allegedly struck a security guard with a pipe, but while there were obviously some
I don't know what is something about a girl taking you out that always to me would be such an embarrassing headline. Have you heard I got taken out by a girl?
Security hurdles during construction.
Specifically, if I saw it coming. Obviously, if somebody, you know, whacked me with a pipe in the back of the head, I mean, come on now. But if you saw
there
it
was
coming,
no denying the house began to look incredible. After laying the slab for the basketball court, Ferris uploaded a video showing the court's entire construction process, which included a Drake-themed scoreboard, Drake-themed on-court branding, and even Drake-themed basketballs. The video received comments such as, "This is the dopest indoor court I have ever seen a celebrity have. Beats Shaq's and Jordan's." But while the basketball court could only be described as awesome, there were other aspects of the property that were better described as awesomely stupid. For example, Drake spent $700,000 on
Is it really stupid when you got his type of money, though? When you got that type of money to spare like that? Maybe not. Maybe from his perspective, it's not as bad.
World's most expensive bed. Created specifically for Drake's house, the bed named Grand Vivitas weighs 530 kilograms or 1,168 pounds and took over 600 hours just to make a single one. The bed has a whiskey and champagne bar on the backside of the bed head and a dedicated team of employees who flip and clean the mattress every 3 months. In addition to the bed, Drake had a 4,000-pound bathtub delivered to his ensuite, which was made from one giant piece of marble at a cost of over $50,000. After finishing in the tub, Drake can get dressed in his 2-story walk-in closet, which he's since defended as being an important part of the property. The bedroom is where I come to decompress from the world at the end of the night, and where I open my eyes to seize the day. The bed lets you float.
That is totally how Drake will say when I go to bed and when I wake up. The bedroom is where I decompress from the world at the end of the night and where I open my eyes to seize the day. That's Drake's way of saying when I wake up in the morning, when I go to bed at night. That's his way of saying that.
Shower lets you escape and gather your thoughts, and the closet makes you want to talk to yourself while getting dressed. On the 5th of October 2019, roughly 3 years after construction first began, Drake posted this video to his Instagram showing that the luxury mansion was nearing completion, while providing a further sneak peek into some of its wild features. There were the singing toilets we mentioned earlier, as well as quite possibly the craziest indoor swimming pool you might ever witness. However, it wouldn't be until Drake moved into the home 6 months later that he'd also show off his separate outdoor pool, as apparently the property needed 2 separate pools. On top of this, Drake bought a custom Bosendorfer piano for an estimated $500,000, which was shown for the first time in the 2C Slide music video, where Drake would also display a room holding every award he'd ever won. Additionally, Drake...
That's different when you can make a movie freaking-esque music video and all of the film is just your house. Like when he did the Laugh Now Cry Later from his house. Like, bro, that's different, bro. Like
built an entire hallway for the sole purpose of displaying basketball jerseys. And considering Drake also has sun-tanning beds in his bathrooms, it's no surprise that even DJ Khaled praised the designer by stating, "Amazing job."
I was just about to say, he probably was like, "Amazing. I like that."
I want you to build my next estate. I've been thinking the name of the one we're gonna build together because Embassy is incredible. Champagne Papi inspired me on another level. I have more work to do. Although even if you include Drake's 12-car garage and $10 million car collection, the mansion's often quoted value of $150 million is way over exaggerated. The most expensive home ever listed in Bridle Path was on the other side of Drake Street, which had
so it's in his area, even if he ain't the one who got it.
Asking price of $45 million in 2021. The home was built at the same time as Drake's and has a similar 9 bedrooms.
So you just see the numbers, you know, on here edited and typed out for you, bro. But imagine actually having that money, bro.
16 bathrooms, 12-car garage, and an indoor swimming pool. The property failed to sell for $45 million and has since had its price dropped to $40 million. So while Drake's house is certainly more luxurious, it probably wouldn't sell for $150 million or even half of that. Despite this, Drake has certainly achieved his goal of building a monumental property, albeit at the cost of his time, money, and even his safety.
Definitely, well, actually all of them, but definitely the safety from what I'm hearing here. But anyway, bro, I was about to say this comment right here was hilarious. Because that's his channel. Let me hit a sub, man. He did great. Sonny V2, the only man on YouTube who can, with the ability to make a story about Drake's fashion sound like the end of humankind. I saw that comment. I had to point that out, bro. Oh man, but yeah, we all know Drake got hella emotion and he moved different with the money and everything considered, man. If I ever get to meet him, bro, be a freaking honor. But anyway, love and appreciate you guys, man. Y'all let me know other videos you want me to check out in the comments down below, man. At the end of the day, we're gonna say it is what it is, and what it's gonna be is this prodigy continue to come out with the content visuals bangers over and over again for you guys, doing my thing and doing it well, doing what we need to do to get to where we need to be, which just means locking in and putting in that work, grind time and effort, man. We uploading 2 videos a day, daily, you know what I'm saying? But we doing our thing, man, and we gonna keep going. Love and appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to, like I say, do our thing. At the end of the day, we're going to say, man, you know, continuing to come out with that content, the videos, and the bangers, man. So hit up all them socials down below. They there for you to build this unit, you know what I'm saying? And we could do our thing, and we can rule the world together. But anyway, loving you guys. Hit that notification bell for future videos, and I shall see y'all in the next one, man. That is the vibe that DJ's on.